Nat 20. Hello adventurers, Merlin here bringing you another Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer video. So here we go with delivery 8. We're kicking off first off with issue 27. So, bit of a letdown issue, and I'll get to that in just a sec. But for the actual front cover, so we have, of course, brand new exclusive adventure. We have 6 top tips on how to keep your campaign on track, fighting underwater, learning all about sidekicks, and we have the Tabaxi there, the cat-like tribe of creatures in the Mortal Forgotten Realms. So why is this issue a bit of a letdown? It's because our free gift is another set of inspiration tokens. Yeah, I don't see us needing more than 5, so why we've got a second set, I don't know. Any other condition would have been better, I think. So it's something, I guess, not the best free gift. We do have some good ones in this delivery though. We'll get onto those, of course, in the future issues. So I'm just about to film, as I said, issue 27. Then hopefully issue 28 if my voice holds up. So before we jump over the table, big shout out to all my supporters, whether you're Patreon supporters or indeed YouTube subscribers. Your continued support means a lot to me, and it encourages me to keep going with all this content for you. Speaking of Patreon, if you are watching this, you are among the first people to actually watch it on Patreon early. If you're here on YouTube, though, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this issue. Without further ado then, let's hop over to my table and we'll take a look at issue 27. So here we are up close and personal with issue 27, and yep, we just have these. So let's get these out of the way quickly, because there's not a lot to talk about. So, just nice laser cut MDF inspiration tokens with inspiration, of course, printed around the outside, and that D&D and in the center where you can stand your figure. Although I believe these holes are a little too small for some of the larger standees we have. Would have been nice if we had a bit of a bigger gap and perhaps smaller printing for inspiration around the outside. Maybe that's as small as they could go with the laser printer, I don't know. But yeah, there we have it. Would have also been better if we had to build these ourselves. That would have given a bit more value. I suppose it's to stop people having to buy stuff like super glue, which can be pretty dangerous with fumes, etc., especially for the younger collectors of this collection. So yeah, it's nice that it's all pre-assembled, I suppose, for the younger people, but older people like me and many others, it would be nice if we had something a little bit more to build for this collection. So yeah, 5 of those, giving us 10 in total now, which, as I said, I don't see us needing more than the first 5, really. Right, let's move on from that and we'll start looking at the magazine, because that is really the best bit about this issue. So yeah, we got some really good articles. Top tips for keeping a campaign on track, how to fight underwater, getting a buddy, new species to look at, and of course a new adventure. So let's adjust the camera and we'll dive into issue 27. So, flipping open the front cover of issue 27. So our full contents, we of course have a new adventure, 27, Voyage to the Moonshae Isles. So beginning our multi-issue adventure. So for Sage Overview, we have quite a few pages. We have all about adventuring underwater and how to make use of the environment. For the DM, we have a couple of pages, Don't Lose the Plot, and also how to share stories between adventurers. And for combat, we look at fighting underwater, as we are about to hit the open waves. Character creation, we have part 1 of Sidekicks, and we have a brand new species, the Tabaxi. And then monsters, we have the Demons vs. Devils, the Blood War. So issue 27 comes with a set of inspiration tokens. Yeah, as I said, not the best gift we've had. Could have done with something extra with the issue to make it seem a little bit more worth. Hopefully, that, as I said, though, there are some better things in this delivery that really do give us a little bit more value. We have the QR code for D&D Beyond. I'm using that quite a lot now. Due to how dangerous our current campaign is, I'm creating a few backup characters just in case mine dies. My elf has dropped to 0 now 3 times. Yeah, not the best. Yeah, we're just starting a slightly easier adventure than trekking through a desert. We're now trying to clean out a abandoned place to turn into our little bit of a base of operations sort of set thing. Yeah. Really fun session last time. We leveled up mid-adventure, so we kind of fumbled over our new abilities a little. We weren't able to wrap up as quickly as the DM wanted. I gained inspiration by wearing my elf ears. If it weren't for the fact they're too heavy, I might wear them every session. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, less on that, more on the issue. So we'll kick things off with environments and underwater adventuring. Can you swim? Or use magic to breathe underwater? It pays to be prepared when diving into the depths. So yeah, this is all about how to adventure underwater. So we know the Forgotten Realms has a lot of land, but it also has a lot of sea. So there are many abandoned grottos, sunken ships, etc. to explore under the ocean. So yeah, it's not the easiest environment to deal with. So swimming, in the same way that your character has a walking speed, creatures may have some creatures will also have a swimming speed, which tells you how far they can move each round under the water. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You have various ways of getting a swimming speed. Without a swimming speed, though, you can still swim, though it will cost you double movement. So 1 foot will cost you 2 foot of movement. And you must succeed a DC 10 Constitution saving throw for each hour swimming to avoid getting exhaustion, though. So yeah, those of you that have a swimming ability, though, you can swim pretty easily. You can also swim for 8 hours each day without any penalties. If you push beyond this, you will of course need to do the DC 10 save. Magic item for helping you to swim is the Ring of Swimming here, giving you a swimming speed of 40 feet. How to survive in water? For most characters interested in exploring underwater, drowning is a real concern. So yeah, most creatures can hold their breath for a short amount of time, but there are many items you can use to help get over the downside of needing to breathe underwater. So we have the Helm of Underwater Action. So while wearing this brass helmet, you can breathe underwater, have dark vision of 60 feet and a swimming speed of 30. Mariner's Armor. So while wearing this armor, you have a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. In addition, whenever you start your turn underwater with 0 hit points, the armor causes you to rise 60 feet towards the surface. It is decorated with fish and small motifs and shell motifs even, and different versions might be light, medium, or heavy. So yeah, pretty cool. Cap of water breathing. While wearing this cap, you can speak the command word to generate a bubble around your head, allowing you to breathe underwater until you lose the cap, or you no longer require to need to breathe, and you can activate the command word again as well. Moving on to our DM pages, so don't lose the plot. Keeping track of your campaign helps make your characters' adventures feel like they're happening in a living, changing world. One way to run a D&D campaign is to treat it like a TV show, basically. So each session of play is an episode over a arcing series. So it's also a good idea to keep a record of events that happen, characters you're using, etc. as well. So creating a manifest of recurring characters. So we've got our foppish fashion designer Urim Greywind and Fiala Ashfield the Bard, who we'll see in quite a few adventures coming up. Make sure you have overarching plot lines as well. Don't forget that player characters can impact in meaningful. Meanwhile, can be anything from causing a death of a particular monster to obtaining a legendary item. So yeah, it's a good idea to have a planner to keep a track of what you're doing. So our 6 top tips, or the magazine's 6 top tips, are: don't miss a beat, keep an adventure log, which we were just talking about, put your player characters first. They are, of course, the main characters of this TV show, adventure. Maintain an NPC roster, so keep a list of those people you want to see come up. We've got quite a few in our roster as it is. Keep track of time. Don't forget to, of course, keep track of days, weeks, months, and of course even hours, down to the small amount of smaller sessions that happen. Also, don't throw anything away. It's good to keep it and refer back to it for future adventures. So, sharing stories is our next DM page. So the Dungeon Master and players often need to work together to tell a cool story. So one of the greatest joys of being a Dungeon Master is having the opportunity to tell a story through the adventure you have designed for your players. However, there's risk that comes with this joy. You don't want it to be in the position to start railroading your players, which is to say forcing players to follow your plot, even if they want to explore different stories. So yeah, it's a good idea to be a little lenient at least. So the arc conundrum. So for example, in Encounter 27, the players' characters are approached by Lord Ander Stonecliffe, who is keen to send them off on a quest to the Moonshaes. This development is key to the campaign's arc, and Lord Stonecliffe has a hidden agenda and is actively trying to manipulate the adventurers to leave Neverwinter. But yeah, so the players could choose not to go, in which case it is going to mess with the overall arc. That said, if they refuse, they are missing out on, of course, a brand new chapter. How should a DM and their players deal with this situation? Well, there's various ways. So we've got shared storytelling. It's possible to head such situations off at the pass, as it were. When setting up your campaign, it's a good idea to sit down with your players, sort of give them an idea of where you want to go with things, and make sure you work in backstories. Perhaps one of your characters even comes from the Moonshaes. It might be a good idea for them to want to return home, etc. Of course, though, you want to make sure you have fun first before all else, so it's not always possible to plan ahead. You could try to subtly guide your players, though, which is a good idea. And yeah, of course, it might break the spell of the illusion of the adventure, but it might be worth having just to ensure everyone's on the sort of same page, really. So yeah, subtle things such as, trust me, there's some fun stuff you'll miss out on if you stay in the city. So yeah, nice ways to help guide the players. So, moving on, we have underwater combat. So, picking a fight when your head is beneath the waves or you're trapped in a flooded dungeon comes with its own challenges. So, yeah, while you'd like to stay on land, you can't always pick where the time and place where you fight. So, yeah, there's many chance you'll be taken underwater in adventures. So, underwater visibility then. So, while underwater, if you have clear water and bright light from above, you have a visibility of 60 feet. If it's clear water but dim light, you have 30 feet. If it's murky water with no light, it's a measly 10 feet distance. So yeah, depending on the time of day and the clearness of the water, it depends on how well you can see. So water fighting under the water environment comes with its own challenges. This is the same as if you're attempting to get up close and engage your opponent, or if you're trying to injure them from afar. So if your character has a swimming speed, typically granted by your species or spell or magic item, they are adept at moving through the water and can make melee weapon attacks without penalty. If you don't, unless you're attacking with a dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, or trident, then you will attack without penalty. But if you aren't attacking with those, you will have a disadvantage, sadly, to your attacks. For ranged weapons, though, usually with a minimum range, your minimum range now becomes pretty much your maximum range, as a combination of harder sea and the water flow as well will make shots not so easy to make. Moving on then for character creation, thinking about sidekicks with part 1. So need some assistance on your adventures? Recruit some help. So not every member of your adventuring party needs to be a player character, or even a NPC. So yeah, it's possible for the NPCs to join, but you might also want to think about a player who has their own particular ally. So in this case, we're looking at sidekicks, be them creatures or other people. So firstly, a sidekick must be connected to a character either by the backstory or through the events of the campaign. Secondly, the DM will need to provide a stat block for that sidekick. Usually this will be like a commoner sort of background. For example, with a challenge rating of 1/2 or lower, so commoner, bandit, scout, wolf, hobgoblin, or deep gnome. So yeah, they also must pick one of the 3 sidekick classes. So they can be either an expert, a spellcaster, or a warrior. So you gain benefits very similar to what you would be if you were a normal character. So for an expert, these favour guile over brute strength, tend to be nimble, thoughtful operator, particular set of skills. Spellcasters, you of course have magic abilities you can cast, and you must be able to speak at least one language. So you can choose either being a mage, which is a wizard, who uses a wizard list, a healer using cleric or druid list, or a prodigy that uses the bard or warlock list. And even not all. Then finally for a warrior, of course this is pretty standard. You carry the physical heft of the party. This is a sidekick for you. Might be highly trained animal, grizzled mercenary, or knuckle-cracking bodyguard. At first level, they'll choose a martial role, either attacker, giving +2, or defender, using reaction to make a foe within 5 feet strike with disadvantage. So who plays the sidekick? It's up to you. So a player controls them as a second character. The DM can control the sidekick. A player controls them as their only character. This could be a new way to add a guest player into your group and getting them used to the game. And finally, the sidekick is controlled by the player group as a whole. So yeah, discussing how they want the actual sidekick to actually act. So sidekick progression, much with regular characters, they can level up. This will be discussed in part 2, so next issue actually. So 2 more articles to go before our adventure. So we have a new species to look at, the Tabaxi. It's time to let the cat people out of the bag. So yeah, long ago, a divine being called the Cat Lord, or Cloister most likely, created the Tabaxi, feline humanoids. While all are cat-like in appearance, some are also naturally cat-like in personality as well as appearance, travelling the world with boundless curiosity, or instead basking in the sun in endless lethargy even. So yeah, pretty cool species. So yeah, appearance-wise, yeah, they're usually humanoid, a little taller than humans, covered in fine fur, either decorated in solid or rosette spots. They have tails, of course, pointed ears, and whiskers and a muzzle with sharp teeth. They also tend to be nimble and stealthy, and have retractable claws on their hands and feet, allowing them to become expert climbers and deadly unarmed combatants. So, personality, the majority of the Tabaxi, at least those who wander the realms, are of chaotic alignment. They are, after all, creatures of impulse. So yeah, one common misconception of a Tabaxi is that they care only for material wealth, but while cat folk may be drawn to a particular shiny trinket once they have obtained it, they are likely to simply toss it aside, now possessed and examined. So yeah, they tend to be inquisitive creatures. They might seek out something just to learn about it, and then once they've learnt that knowledge, it's no longer any use to them. So the particular item in question is usually just discarded. So yeah, they also exhibit quirks that you might expect from feline creatures. One Tabaxi might have a phobia of water. Another might constantly flick their tail, giving away their thoughts. And another may enjoy playing with a ball of string during downtime. Finally, then we got their distant origins. Like cats, Tabaxi are well adapted at the climate they live in, whether they dwell in deserts, grassland, jungles, or mountains. So they live in clans, much like their ancestors. So each clan has notable aspects, such as territories. So Mountain Tree Clan, Bright Cliffs Clan, etc. The Tabaxi's name, meanwhile, draws from their environment, clan history, and lore, leading to colourful monikers as Cloud of the Mountaintop, Smoking Mirror, and Left-Handed Hummingbird. So yeah, that's some nice information if you want to create a Tabaxi character. So, Demon versus Devils, the Blood War. Evil versus evil for the fate of the multiverse. In the evil corner, it's the devils. In the other evil corner, it's the demons. Let the fight commence. I should probably do that a little better. In the evil corner, it's the devils. In the other evil corner, it's the demons. Let the fight commence. Ding ding. There we go. So, yeah, there exists an eternal struggle within the cosmos, but not always between the forces of good and evil. Sometimes this is set between the forces of evil itself. The Blood War has raged for untold millennia, and perhaps will forevermore. So, yeah. For DMs, it might be a good idea to include this over some campaigns, perhaps getting your players drawn into the combat of the Blood War, whether it's willingly or unwillingly. So where the name came from of the Blood War is not known, but it's most likely because the first battlegrounds were alongside the River Styx, or the River of Blood that runs through the lower plains of Hells. Excuse me. It may also refer to the amount of blood spilled by both sides throughout the ages. So, who are the demons? Fiendish denizens occupy the abyss, one of the lower planes comprised of infinite layers. While demons and devils are both evil, demons are chaotic by nature. They attack in endless hordes, driven on by such demon lords as Orcus, Jublex, and Demogorgon. Who are the devils? Conversely, these residents of Nine Hells are distinguished by their adherence to order and hierarchy, both in the Blood War and the dealings of mortals. Even their plane is more structured of the Nine Hells, as compared to the Infinite Abyss. So, as I mentioned, you can include the Blood War in campaigns. So, in their ongoing conflict, either side may attempt to recruit adventurers, whether openly, covertly, or completely unwittingly. So yeah, nice way that a DM can include this in campaigns and add a little bit of extra spice to their adventures. What is the balance in the ongoing Blood War? Another side remains in play as well as a more neutral side, or at least a side that favours continued balance between demons and devils. The Archmage Mordenkainen, or Kanan, is one such adherent to this balance. A legendary figure, he may be one to compel adventurers to undertake some mission or plot, not for the benefit or even detriment of other demons or devils, but to maintain strife between the two. Keeping the Blood War underway is admittedly a dangerous goal. It's an important one, however, lest these monstrous fiends of the cosmos find pause and opportunity to turn their attention towards the mortal realms. So, finally then we have Demogorgon. So, the name Demogorgon is familiar outside D&D from mythology and Stranger Things. Within the game, this monster exists as one of the most prominent demon lords, a bizarre, massive, two-headed figure, his arms extending into powerful tentacles, and his mere gaze will cause confusion. So, yeah, not a nice guy to cross paths with. Alright, anyway, let's move on to this issue's adventure. So, Voyage to the Moonshae Isles. This adventure is balanced with third-level characters. Players can use pre-generated character sheets or create their own. Playtime 1 to 2 hours. So, encounter background. Our heroes have thwarted the Ashmedai cult's schemes in Neverwinter. For now. The cult's leader, Lord Ander Stonecliffe, seeks to dispose of these meddlesome adventurers, or at least cunningly bend their wretched heroism to his nefarious cause. To that end, he found the perfect quarry, the Cloven Scepter, a unholy relic of Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells. The scepter was lost at sea many years ago, but recently Ander discovered its whereabouts in a stretch of sea near the mist-cloaked Moonshae Isles. He has summoned the characters to his manse to send them on this dangerous and distant quest. Either they will find the relic and bring it to him, or they will perish in the attempt. Encounter goals. The encounter, to complete this adventure, the party must meet Lord Ander Stonecliffe and set sail to the Moonshae Isles, defeating a crew of pirates on their journey. So, beginning the encounter, a courier, a lawful neutral halfling named Doria, finds the party at their lodgings in Neverwinter. After disinterestedly confirming their identity, she hands them a sealed letter and leaves. The symbol pressed into the wax features an ocean wave that crashes into a sheer cliff. DC 10 intelligence history check will reveal this is a symbol of House Stonecliffe, a family of some renown which owns many maritime businesses in Neverwinter. So this is an extended quest. This is the beginning of an adventure arc which sends the party to the Moonshae Isles over the next 7 issues. The party explores the archipelago in order to track and unearth a dangerous relic from the depths of the seas. So yeah, continuing with the adventure then, we have the letter that we've just been given, approaching to Stonecliffe Manor, how to roleplay Ander, his request for the party, the Wave Mother's mercy, and the NPCs of the Wave Mother. So Captain Rena Wildcloak is the captain, Treasure is a Tiefling Thug, and Dance of Falling Feathers is the Tabaxi Thug. So key locations, we have a really nice map here of the actual ship we're going to be sailing on. So the main deck here. So yeah, main deck feature of the ship has the following features. So mangonel, this ship is equipped with 2 mangonels, a type of catapult. So that's our main attacking abilities, I guess, of the ship. There's a hatch down to, of course, lower decks. Covered 10-foot square opening leads to the lower deck. Yeah, makes sense. Which is here. There's railings, of course. So main deck has a 3-foot high railing around it to provides half cover for medium creatures and 3/4 for small. And then, of course, we have rowboats for approaching shore. So we have the officers' quarters, the captain's quarters. We have the siege weapon ammunition storage, and then we have supplies. Then on the forecastle, so we have a ballista. We also have the figurehead of the ship, and again the railings that continue around it. And then on the quarterdeck, we have another ballista, more railings, and of course the steering wheel for the ship. On the oar deck then, so the lower deck here, 8 is the oar deck. So benches, each with a 20-foot long oar. The ship is rowed. Crew members sit on these benches to work the oars. 10 spare oars hang on the walls. Then we have the privy. If you need to go, you got to go there. Not a very nice place, I must admit. Benches line the walls. 4 holes carved into them house chamber pots. We've got the medical cabin, guest cabins, and the brig. That's not very nice. And then finally down in the hold, so houses both passengers and cargo. Ships off-duty crews sleep on bedrolls among the crates and barrels of food, water, and other supplies. Finally, 13 is the Armory. So yeah, continuing on with the adventure. So we sail to the Moonshae, we encounter pirates, boarding the Bonefisher, the treasure, and the conclusion of the adventure there. Then we have our stat blocks. So we got thugs, because we have quite a few of those in the pirate party. We also have the pirate captain and the pirate deck wizard there, a elf wizard. Alright then, I'll bring everything in. I'll give you my final thoughts on issue 27. So, that was issue 27 of Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. And, yeah, the issue definitely picks up the rather lackluster gift we've had. Yeah, it's nice, it's better than dice, but it's still not exciting enough. But the actual issue itself, we have a good lot of information. So plenty of stuff covering underwater encounters and adventures, because we are now heading out into an extended adventure up on the open seas. It's a nice DM guide there, so keeping the campaign on track is very good, as well as sharing stories between party. Some extra character creation bits, so a new species, and of course setting up your sidekicks, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pretty good issue. So for ratings then, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. The issue gives a good solid strong 3, but the gift sadly does leave a lot to be inspired by, I guess. Yeah, it's not the best gift, and yeah, it really does let the issue down. Other than that, it's been a great issue. Nice lot of articles to read. And yeah, that extended campaign is looking quite fun. So we're looking forward to playing that. But that's it for this issue. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like and comment on this video down below. And until next time, stay safe and keep rolling those crits.